welcome back to Nice News. We hope you all enjoyed your bank holiday break. I'm Steve Surridge, aka Mr. Happiness 2000, and this week, over the next 45 minutes, we are going to be looking at meditation, mindfulness, and breathing. If you think you've heard of these but aren't quite sure what they are, we are going to go over to Lisa Fearon, who's filling in this week for poorly Kaie. Hello, Kaie. Get well soon. Lisa is going to tell us more about these topics. So, Lisa, over to you.
Hi, everyone. So, as Steve said, I'm just filling in for Kaie. You'll have to bear with me. So today's topic is meditation, mindfulness, and breathing. And we have the quote from the Buddha, which is one of my favourite ones: to do not dwell in the past, do not dream of the future, concentrate the mind on the present moment. So the quality of our lives is found in the appreciation of the present moment. Too often we dwell in the past, we're rerunning scenarios over which we have no control over, and we're always thinking about the future things that are going on, and not spending enough time really in the present moment. And so aligning with the present moment brings a sense of peace, and on today's show we're going to discuss how meditation, mindfulness and breathing can help us do this. So let's talk about meditation first, and some of the common misconceptions. Some misconceptions that a lot of people will think of is that it's this new age woo-woo. I've heard that a lot. Only practiced by people who do yoga, or it's a religious practice. And so we're just going to talk through these things now. So beginning with meditation, this is just simply a tool for working the muscles of the mind, where you use a technique to focus your mind on a particular object or activity to achieve mentally or emotional, stable, calm mind. It comes from a Latin word which means to ponder, and actually the origins of meditation can be traced to about 5,000 years ago, apparently, from India to China. And so meditation is often associated with Buddhism and other major religions such as Christianity, Islamic, but Judaism, lots of different religions use a form of meditation. And so this may be why that some people may think of meditation as like a religious thing, but actually it's not. So other misconception as well is that meditation is actually about controlling or stopping your thoughts. And at the beginning this is true. It eventually, you just want to harness your thoughts and just allow yourself to kind of be free from thoughts as much as you can. But eventually with practice you do become free from thoughts. So this is going to be something that we'll sample shortly. And just to know really that meditation is not about controlling your thoughts, but more about not letting the thoughts control you. And I think that's really important to know about with meditation. You don't have to be perfect at it. It's a practice, and it's about just not letting thoughts overrun you. So think of it this way: we cleanse our body by bathing, and so we cleanse our mind by meditating. And I really like that thought. And so thinking about mindfulness. Again, this dates back to Buddhist philosophies, and it's closely linked to meditation. So meditation is the practice of trying to be free from thoughts, and mindfulness is the practice of it in our daily lives. It's been around for close to 3,000 years apparently, but it actually gained popularity in the West in the 80s. When a professor of medicine, apparently, at the University of Massachusetts, suggested using it as an alternative natural way to manage stress and illness. And then it became more and more popular. So with mindfulness, you focus your attention on the present moment and accept, without judgment, that there's no right or wrong way to think or feel. And so both practices encourage the use of an anchor. And our most powerful anchor is our breath. So when you first start your practice, you're encouraged to focus on your breath, on your breathing, because the mind can only do one thing at a time. Even though we think that we can multi-skill, it will either just focus on the breath, or it will focus on, just overthinking. So this is why the breath is a powerful tool in meditation and mindfulness practices. And so this may shock you, but the majority of us don't breathe properly. So the benefits of breathing properly have long been known in African spiritual practices and Eastern religions, but it's only in recent years that breathwork has become popular in the West. And it may seem daft to be taught how to breathe, but as babies we did used to breathe properly, breathing deep into our abdomens, but then as we start to do school, we're spending hours sitting, our posture changes, and so does our breathing. We become upper chest breathers, and this isn't good for our health. So our special guest, Steffi Jane, will be telling us more, plus guiding us through a few exercises.
Thank you, Lisa. That's brilliant. So yes, so meditation and mindfulness is everywhere. Everyone is telling us that we need to do it, but do we actually know what it is, how to do it, and more importantly, are we doing it? So we went out on the streets asking exactly this, and this is what she said.
Mindfulness and meditation to me means becoming really in tune with how your body and emotions are and having ways to relax yourself.
Mindfulness and meditation to me means to understand yourself on a deeper level and just like become aware of everything that you feel inside and just like become really calm and just go through everything in your head in a really calm state that you can control. I think like it also means being grounded as well, like understanding things around you and being like aware of people, places, just like little objects and stuff. I think that's kind of what mindfulness means.
Mindfulness and meditation to me means being at one with your thoughts and your surroundings, taking in everything in the moment, being zen, feeling really calm and thinking through things, I guess thought by thought.
I think meditating and being mindful can do like a world of good to your mental health and just your physical well-being in general. Like I think it can make you understand things in different perspectives of things and see things differently and just understand yourself in a way that you couldn't in everyday life. Taking that time out to meditate and stuff kind of gives you that edge to understand yourself better.
For me, it really helps with anxiety and stress, and becoming more in control of my breathing and how I'm feeling.
I know that when you're stressed, it can help you to calm down in a really natural way. So when you're stressed, it can help you to sort of organise your thoughts, especially in things like lockdown where you're in no control over the situation. It can help you to like ground yourself.
I have meditated before, but I wouldn't say I do them as like a religious thing. I think you kind of get torn up in everything with life and you just don't think to sit down and meditate. But the times I have done it, it has been really like helpful in terms of like calming my breathing down and just making me see things in a rational way when I've been stressed or something. But yeah, I just think you just don't think to sit down. Like people are just so busy in life that they don't think to sit down and just actually like sit with themselves. But I think if you do it, it could be really beneficial. It was beneficial the couple of times I've done it.
I am a teacher and I do mindfulness every day with my children in my class because I think it's really important for them to learn how to recognise and regulate their emotions and ways that they can be a bit more in control of that.
I don't, because first of all I don't know how to really. I don't know how to sort of be that calm and at one with my own thoughts, and also I just don't really have the time and don't think to do it.
So yeah, so some really articulate and informed answers there, but why aren't they doing it? Okay, well we're going to find that out later on the show because that's what we're all about. And we are joined this week by yoga and mindfulness tutor Steffi Jane. Let's get Steffi unmuted. Steffi, how are you?
I'm well, thank you, Steve.
Where are you? I know you've been travelling around loads recently. Where are you coming to us from this week?
I'm coming from the retreat New Forest. So we're just managing an Airbnb retreat centre, and they do lots of yoga and gong baths and lots of different healing things at the centre. So we're just helping a friend out by looking after it.
Because I've been watching you on Instagram and you're constantly in stretchy poses and everything with all your yoga classes and that you're running. So no, that's brilliant. So tell us your story. How did you get into this? How did you realise just how beneficial mindfulness, meditation and breathing is?
Well, I was a school teacher in Australia. So yeah, just I guess like many people, you know, I've been stressed out in my job, felt a lot of anxiety, trying to keep up with, you know, our fast-paced society and just having lots of, you know, lots of thoughts in my mind and didn't know how to control them, would go to sleep at night but not able to sleep because I would have my racing mind and my thoughts all in my head going over and over. And I think, a lot of people can relate to that. And I finally, that's when I started getting into yoga and meditation. I kind of got them in separately. I got into them, I was doing yoga, and at the end in Shavasana, when you lie down, you feel, really peaceful after doing yoga. And I was like, okay, I can feel this now, when I'm lying down, feeling peaceful at the end of yoga, and I just want to feel this more. And I just started kind of looking into, yoga or meditation for anxiety or different, I just type into YouTube. That's how I started, really listen to guided meditations on YouTube. So people like Jason Stevenson and Michael Seeley. And I didn't really know what I was doing. I just kind of said, oh, okay, today I'm feeling like I want something that's more motivating. So I said, meditation for motivation. Or if I was feeling anxious, I did meditation for anxiety. And I'd just type in what I felt like I needed at that moment. And that's how I started.
So the tools are that accessible then, YouTube?
Yeah, YouTube. Yeah, that's how I started.
Wow.
Yeah, or I'm listening to a relaxing song, and I didn't really know what I was doing, but I was exploring different ways. There's the Headspace app. That's a really good one to actually learn the tools of mindfulness, because they kind of explain about the brain and, how we have all these thoughts and how to, observe them and let them pass by. And they give really good visual analogies. You've probably seen little ads on them on YouTube before. So
yeah, we are going to mention the apps and that later in the show. So, so how much would you say you needed to do this? How close to breaking point was you?
Yeah, I was pretty close to breaking point at a moment. Yeah, and I guess I ended up getting medication as well, so for anxiety, and seeing a psychologist. So doing the Western healing, but also learning things to control my thoughts and learn about my mind. Like both of them together was really healing process for me, and that's why like yoga and Eastern modalities as well as the Western, integrated them together was really helpful for me.
So Steffi, coming back to you, for both yourself and your clients, what would you say the real benefits of mindfulness and meditation are that you've seen and experienced?
For myself and for my clients or my friends that I do meditation with, I've noticed that you're able to understand your emotions better. You're able to process them in a healthy way. So you're just like less reactive, really. So whenever a stressful situation comes up, you have a tool to be able to sit back and okay, maybe before reacting to this situation, I can breathe and I can, do some breaths and then, journal it out or breathe and then come back to it at a later time when you're less reactive. So then, you have healthier relationships in your life as well, because you're not biting other people's heads off,
Yeah.
When I was teaching, also, I was more patient with the kids as well when I was practicing it. So I'll start my day as I gradually, if you don't know, if you can't sit still and you can't do it for a moment, start with 30 seconds and then build up to a minute and then build up to 5. And then, doing 20 minutes every morning is probably a really good thing to work towards. That I found that really, when I'm doing that regularly and consistently, that really sets me for the rest of my day, because I've had that stillness and that time for myself at the beginning of the day.
Yeah.
And then when stressful situations come up during the day, I do have a tool where I can breathe for a minute and then it calms me down. So just doing like little bits as well to stop in the middle of the day.
It was really interesting in that Voxpox that one of the young people was a teacher, and she says she teaches her pupils. So there is hope for the future generations. Have you taught your pupils this?
Yeah. I was teaching them, the school I was at in West London, I started teaching yoga. I did a yoga club, and I also did it as part of the enrichment curriculum. So I did it mainly for year 7s, and as well as teaching yoga, I'd also teach them how to breathe properly.
Yeah.
We all breathe into our chest, so much we learn, gradually, just to breathe wrong. We're not really taught it, and it's, we should be taught it, really. It should just be in primary school. We should be taught how to breathe. And they just, oh, miss, I feel really calm. And it gives them the tools to self-regulate. And if we can do this earlier on in primary school even, I think it's just really beneficial for us to
Absolutely. The cost of mental illness and poor mental health is billions of pounds, isn't it, every year? And if we can, empower individuals to manage their own well-being just through breathing.
Yeah. Breathwork is, like Lisa said, breath is the best way to start because it gives you something to focus on and it instantly changes your physiology. So it takes us from that fight or flight state, the sympathetic nervous system, down into the parasympathetic, which is our natural resting state, which is where we should be all the time.
We profiled on our Instagram site dogger or doggy yoga. Have you tried that?
Haven't. But I've seen videos, and even the dogs, they're running around so fast at the beginning, and then by the end, they're laying down and they're calm. So it's like they pick up on the energy, of.
So it affects the dogs as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Wow, that's interesting. No, that's brilliant. Thanks, Steffi. Don't go away. Let me just put you back on mute. So we are coming back to Steffi in a bit. But first, it's time to go back over to Lisa for some more nice news.
This is accessible to everyone and anyone. And, if you want to start your meditation practice, nowadays it's just so easy, and the easiest way is probably just an app. And depending on, who you ask, there is few as 5 or as many as 17 different types of meditation. So for example, transcendental meditation, which is said to be the most popular. I remember finding out about the Beatles doing that meditation and getting really interested in that. And it's been practiced by a number of major celebrities. So that's always interesting to check out, very powerful meditation. So these apps also, they can help you with the meditation and mindfulness practice. And these apps are a big business now. Last year, apparently, the top 10 highest earning ones generated $200 million in revenue. That's crazy. And if you're new to meditation, I'd suggest downloading a few apps and seeing which ones best resonate with you. And just bear in mind that some apps may only be free for a limited amount of time, so then you have to pay for them. So just to check that out. And many offer an introductory course to get you started, and you can do a guided or a self-timed meditation. There's so many that you can choose from. You can subscribe and get premium content. And some of them may include live meditation sessions and courses. My hypnotherapy teacher and trainer, he has one called Free Mind, which is absolutely amazing. I was saying that, there's meditations that actually help you with sleep, help you with relaxation. So there's so many. And, my little cheeky plug for myself, I have a YouTube channel actually, Lisa Fearon Coaching. And I've got some guided meditations on there that are, for beginners and different types that you might want to try out.
No, and I promised Lisa that if she came on the show and filled in for Kaie, she'd be able to plug herself. So the Hay House are doing a 7-day mindfulness meditation challenge, and all the links to that are on our Facebook page. There's loads of resources for you to find out if you want to know more about meditation. Have you got another story for us?
Yeah, actually, yes, I do, about mindfulness and meditation therapies. They are now being used alongside and sometimes instead of conventional medicine to help treat conditions like chronic pain, anxiety and stress, hypertension. It's also being used in cancer treatments because meditation actually reduces stress, which has a very beneficial effect on the immune system. There's a fitness coach, Joe Wicks, recently revealed that he used meditation to deal with his father's past drug addiction, which is really interesting. He said a tutor helped him use the meditation, gratitude and fitness to deal with the negativity and the trauma of his father's heroin addiction. And also prisons in both the USA and Europe apparently are using meditation and mindfulness programs with their inmates. And 15 years ago, film director David Lynch set up a foundation to enable children around the world to learn transcendental meditation. And over the years, the program has been rolled out to involve healthcare organisations and prisons, which is just amazing. Schools in the US are also using meditation to help their students. And as Steve said, we heard one of the listeners saying that she uses it with her school kids too, which is just proving more and more popular now. And they've decided to take a different tack when it comes to detention, instead of making the students write lines or do homework, they've replaced this with meditation in this rooms or hiring yoga teachers to help misbehaving students, because they've recognised detention techniques were just having little or no effect on supposedly naughty students, but the introduction of meditation and yoga classes have been very successful. Not only do the children learn how to be calm and breathe better, control negative emotions and take a moment to think before acting, but the children are using these tools in interactions with other people.
No, that's brilliant. Thank you, Lisa. No, I think this is astounding. Once you are aware of like just how powerful meditation is, you do wonder, why aren't they using it at school? You know, you've got all these like disruptive kids, like Steffi said, it calms her down, it calms the pupils down. This could so change society if more and more people become aware of the, you know, the importance and impact of meditation. And we live longer as well, it's proven to have that impact. Let's interact now with our audience and hear what they think about the topic. Who should we go to? Let's go to Giselle. Do you meditate? Do you do meditation?
Do you know what? Do you know what? I've meditated on and off through the years. So yeah, I've done all different types, and it's always benefited me because I was asthmatic as a child, so I didn't ever learn to breathe properly. So, wow, and I still am very shallow breathing. So that whole deep breath stuff is yeah. And how I use it really is to just take a break, because I could just be going, and I just use it to take a break. Sometimes I've used it to take sort of trips into another level of my mind. I haven't done that lately. But yeah, no, I'm 100%. I would love it if they had taught it in nursery school and we'd learnt about it sooner.
I just think it's staggering the fact it's free. It doesn't cost anything. It's just using our natural, you know, body process, and it just has so many powerful, like, positive benefits. And yet, you know, the world has sort of fallen into thinking you've got to have tablets or big pharma's the solution, where it's just breathing.
But you said what you said is correct. If they can't make a buck, then
is that it? Is it? Yeah. Or does society like discredit it because it's free? That because it's free and I can do it naturally, it can't really work.
No, I think that it's just education. They just don't realise how good it is, and I really am excited by them doing meditation instead of detention. That's absolutely brilliant. Yeah. That's a brilliant idea, because mostly you're in detention because there's something that's going on, you know, either in the classroom with bullying or something like that, or something that's going on out externally. And if you can learn, as Steffi said, to breathe and pause and avoid conflict in that way, and then come back and find resolution once you've calmed yourself down. I mean, imagine what the world
and if you equip them like at such a young age to do that, then they're going to just be their natural default going forward. Steffi, you've worked in the school system. How sort of open is the school system to you know, embracing this kind of approach to?
Yeah, the school that I was at were very open to it. They, you know, I was very lucky. I, you know, came to them just saying, you know, I'd like to do some yoga and some, you know, meditation. And we actually ended up implementing a meditation program for the year 7s. It was kind of a trial. They were just going to roll it out year by year and just starting with the year 7s. And there was a few other, there was the counsellor and one of the deputy heads, she was really into meditation as well. So there was a few of us that were kind of, you know, and a few other teachers also joined in. I was at a Christian school, so we did do it in a secular, religious way. And I guess it was just getting the teachers on board with learning it so that they felt comfortable then teaching the classroom. Because I think it's quite hard to, you know, put on, I've tried a few times, I was just experimenting with my form, I'd put on a YouTube video, you know, of a meditation, and then they'll be like, yes, the voice is so weird, why is there weird music in the background? And then, like, you know, they'll just muck around and not really take it seriously. But I think if the teacher is teaching it to the students, that's when it works better, and you're actually teaching them why it's important, you're teaching them how to breathe and teaching them these tools, then yeah, they were more receptive in that way. And this was teenagers I was working with. So again, I haven't really had the experience with younger primary school children. I've done a few, you know, online yoga classes for kids, but other, you know, teachers that I've talked to, you know, that implementing it into primary schools, I know that's getting really big you know, and they do want, it's just building resilience, emotional intelligence in the kids these days are really big things.
Because anxiety seems to be a huge problem with young people, and if this is helping them manage that, then
the kids have so much on these days. You know, in high school they have, you know, they're going to all the different clubs, they've got like their homework, and they've got their phones, and we never had that when we were teenagers. They're constantly on Snapchat and I don't know, whatever, you know, apps and social media.
The latest one is,
you know, they're just constantly on. They don't know how to manage these things.
No, it's so interesting, isn't it? But you're like, you know, we've said adults themselves don't know how to do it either. So you're going to show us in a moment. So we're going to come back to this demonstration with Steffi, but you're going to give us 2 simple mindfulness exercises. Then we're going to do a meditation. But first, before we do that, we are going to go back to Lisa for some nice news.
The next piece of news is about breathwork. Breathwork is gaining increasing popularity, and just like meditation and mindfulness, there are different methods. So there's holotropic breathwork. This is probably the most well-known and popular practice and is intended to help with emotional healing and personal growth. It's said to produce an altered state of consciousness, lifting the barrier between the conscious and subconscious minds. So Julia Naftulin is a lifestyle journalist and was intrigued when she came across a type of breathwork that mimics the effects of a psychedelic trip. She said she'd often wondered what being on a trip was like, but was born way too late for Woodstock and wasn't about to take drugs to find out. And so when a company called Field Trip Health asked her if she'd be willing to do a drug-free psychedelic breathwork therapy course, she agreed. And the results were varied and emotional. She sweated a lot and cried even more. Julia said that as a result of doing the course, she's created small habits to take better care of herself. She's also making a more concerted effort to reach out to friends each week and to read before bed as a way to relax. So, you know, integrating different ways of creating kind of mindfulness in her life. Julia admits that as a result of the course, she's noticed an improvement in her mental health. And most of all, she says experience made her realise that she needs to be kinder to herself. And so, second story, we've spoken in depth about the sometimes detrimental effect social media can have on mental health, making us feel less than if we're not living the Insta lifestyle. And the lockdown has seen us spending even more time online than usual. And as a consequence, there's been a rise in trolling, apparently. And so in an effort to be nicer online, social media sites are encouraging us all to perform acts of digital kindness, like leaving a supportive comment on a social media post, messaging someone you've lost contact with, or sharing your favourite podcasts. And I think it's fair to say that Instagram has borne the brunt of criticism, but they've gone a step further from the acts of kindness by launching a new feature called Guides. Its focus is on wellness in all forms and caters to anyone experiencing negative emotions, especially as a result of the pandemic. And so it's filled with tips, advice, and other useful resources, and will post content from expert organisations such as the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention.
No, that's brilliant. Thank you. Thank you, Lisa. Yes, and all those stories, information about all those stories can be found on our Facebook page. So this is the bit. Steffi, let me unmute you. That would help. So this is demonstration time.
Well, what I was thinking of actually doing was kind of to flip it. I was going to start with a body scan first.
Yeah, okay, yeah. It's over to you. You take
Just because I think we'll settle our body, and then we'll go into learning how to breathe. So we'll do a breathing exercise where I teach you how to breathe down rather than into the chest. And then we'll go into, you know, maybe we'll see how long we have at the end, but maybe just a minute or 2 minutes of observing our thoughts. And
yes. And if I just say, all of you guys in our live audience, Declan, Alison, Jonathan, you got to do this as well, because we're going to come back to you for your feedback in a moment. So don't sit there and ignore us. Yeah. Cool, over to you then, Steffi.
Okay, so first thing is to get comfortable. You don't need to sit in, you know, a lot of people think you need to sit in lotus position with crossed legs and, you know, with your hands like this, you know, that's you. Just be comfortable.
Wow, thank you so much. That was brilliant. It's funny, I was saying to Lisa just before the show that I've been meditating for 10 years, but I need to revisit it. I think I've got into a kind of ruts, like a routine, and I just feel the difference of doing that with you. Let's go to our audience now to find out how you felt, because Giselle, let's unmute you. When was the last time you meditated, Giselle?
Oh, last night.
Oh, really? Okay, so so how did that?
And again, YouTube. I find something.
You did it over YouTube with YouTube?
Yeah, I find something on YouTube, and then I send it to myself, so I can just listen to that. So all different ones for different my issues.
yeah. So are you able to type in like meditation and your issue? And
meditation. I can't sleep. I don't want to comfort eat. I don't want to, feel, any negative kind of stuff. You can do that.
I didn't know that. That's interesting. Thanks for that. Yeah. Do you normally meditate or do anything like that?
I've never done it before. I've always wanted to sort of try it, but I've never sort of had time or felt I could do it really.
Okay, that's what the other people said in the Voxpox. So how did that make you feel?
A lot more relaxed, actually.
Yeah.
But it was quite nice, actually. It was quite sort of soothing.
That's what they say, isn't it? It's, once you feel the benefit of it, you want to keep doing it. So do you think you're going to do it again?
I'd love to actually sort of get into it, actually. It's something I've wanted to try and get into.
So you just heard from Giselle there that you can just type into YouTube meditation and whatever your issue is. And we go to, let's ask Lisa. I know Lisa's a well-being coach, probably when you meditated earlier today, but we probably stressed you out asking you to do the news. Has that relaxed you after we've stressed you out doing the news?
Yeah, it was lovely. I'm sat in a little kitchen area on a bar stool, so I was kind of almost like falling off the stool. It never fails to amaze me, how quickly you can just switch off. And I think the more you do it and the more you have it as a practice, the quicker you get there. Like within a couple of minutes, you can go into this really nice relaxed state. So yeah.
That is it, isn't it? It's the practice. It's making it a habit. You have to make these things habitual. Everything that we've looked at over the past few weeks, like the self-talk, positive self-talk, gratitude and appreciation, you have to make this stuff, habitual to you. So, no, that's great.
One thing I want to say as well is it might seem a bit boring at first, or it might seem difficult, but it's definitely worth it. I actually started with mindfulness and meditation for chronic pain, and it was probably about 18 years ago. And it was the best discovery I ever made. And at first it was quite boring really. But now when I do my meditation, it's just amazing. You feel energized, you feel focused, you feel good, you feel light. So I definitely recommend people to give it a good few goes and keep up with it, and you'll really enjoy it eventually.
No, that's brilliant. It is that lightness, isn't it? Feeling light, that's when you know it's working for you, because you just feel better, don't you? No, that's brilliant. Thank you. So we're going to wrap up now. So let's just get Steffi back. No, thank you so much. So if people want to find out more about you then, Steffi, maybe head down to the New Forest and do one of your retreats, where can they find out more about you? We'll post your details on our Facebook as well, but
So I'm running live Zoom classes at the moment. So the best way to reach out to me is through my social media or through my website.
And was there a sort of an increase in demand of people being interested in this stuff over lockdown? Were they aware they needed to do something and they turned to you?
Yeah. I had a lot of people turning up during lockdown, and now it's just taken off now that school has gone back this week. So I was doing 3 mornings a week at 8 o'clock just for half an hour. People just really happy to have something to show up to, have some community, and also just calm their body down. And there was just so much uncertainty. In a way, it's taught us all to be present.
Absolutely. That's what we had an astrologer 2 weeks ago. I think it was 2 weeks ago. It was 2 weeks ago. Yeah, talking about this, saying that this whole COVID situation has been a wake up. We need to start looking within, because we can't control anything outside of ourselves.
Exactly.
Thank you so much, Steffi. That's been brilliant. So that is it for this week. So just to remind you, Hay House this week have got a 7-day free meditation challenge, and we've got all the links to that on our Facebook page. You can download an app and a guidebook. So that's the way of really sort of running with this. We're going to put some of Giselle's meditation YouTube links and Steffi's info on the Facebook page as well. Thank you for everyone who took part in today's show. Thanks to our team of volunteers that helped make it happen. Thank you so much to Lisa for filling in and being brave. And hopefully Kaie will be back next week. But Lisa, you've been brilliant. Thank you so much. So next week, we are reflecting on the lockdown, how it's changed us, what we've learned. Where are we going to go from here? And so that's coming up live next Monday at 7 p.m. over Facebook. All our links to Facebook, our Instagram, our YouTube will be appearing below right now on the pre-recorded version, and our email address as well. That is it for tonight. Thank you so much, everyone. You've been brilliant. Let you go back to your Monday evening now. Thank you.